Hello everyone, my name is Ashwin Badasinghe. I am a wealth planner and I was asked to speak about another interesting topic. It is about the importance of maintaining mental and physical well-being. Now we have to understand one thing. The best things in life sometimes comes to us without any cost. And health is also one of those things that we have gotten free of charge with no cost at all. And our role here is to maintain that well-being in a positive time. Now, you might have understood during these quarantine times, we tend to eat quite a lot and we miss out on exercising and we miss out on our mental health. Especially when you are a student, you have to focus not only on your physical well-being, your emotional well-being and your mental well-being is vitally important. Now, if we look at a person's health, as for what my belief is, the food you eat plays a major role. Are you consuming a lot of sugar? That's not a good idea. Are you consuming a lot of salt or maybe flour? Now, these three powders, these three white poisons, contribute a lot to how your body reacts, how your body functions, because we have to understand 50% of our well-being, this is my perspective, 50% of our well-being is based on the food we consume. Just imagine if you eat the wrong things, if you put the wrong food into your system, what could it be, the outcome? And at the same time, people tend to miss out on food. They don't eat on time. So just imagine, if you have a car, if you don't fuel it, are you able to use it properly? Similarly, just imagine if you're supposed to pump petrol, instead if you pump kerosene, will it give you a proper outcome? It's the same with our body, because we have to understand, we have to fuel it right. Not only the food, like I said earlier, emotional well-being and mental well-being is also vitally important. Now, if I ask you, what is that you are doing to keep your mental well-being in place? Do you practice a little bit of meditation? Now, meditation is not spoken of that much because people think meditation is keeping your legs collected and sitting in one place and closing your eyes and focusing on breathing for about several hours. It's not the case. If you can focus on your daily routine, if you can focus on your task for the day, if you can make your to-do list for the day just by spending about 5 minutes, now that is also a form of meditation. Also, I would say, if you have a hobby, if you have a routine, if you have a way of focusing and recollecting your talents in a form of a hobby, now that is also a form of meditation, because that gives your mind to feel free. Because as you know, when we are working, when we are studying, we are always engrossed with a routine, and that routine is something similar to focusing yourself into a square, and you are always inside that square. And the moment you get into a hobby, if you get into an activity or some sort of a meditation, you automatically lift yourself out from that square and put yourself into a state of flow, whereas you will be able to think freely and be mindful and explore the other skills that you possess. So mental well-being is a vital part of our holistic well-being. Emotional well-being. Now, emotional well-being is a major, it's a vast area to concentrate. Now we have emotional intelligence to talk about. So that's something that you can research on, emotional intelligence. But emotional well-being, what is emotional well-being is unique to every person. Are you in toxic relationships? Or are you stagnated with relationships that does not add value to you. Now that continuously being around you can deplete your emotional strength, emotional stamina. And we have to understand what we see, what we physically have manifested is just about 30% of the person you are. Your emotions and your mindset contributes to almost 80% of who you are. So we have to understand this 80% and this 20% is equally important. Because imagine if you have a good attitude and if you have a driven goal oriented mindset, and if you're overweight, would that be a good equation? On the other hand, let's say you are healthy, you are eating right, you work out, but you have a mindset of a failed person. Is that a good combination? So a holistic person, a person with a good attitude and good health habits, is a person who can succeed. Because we have to understand this is not an overnight process. You can't start it today and expect results tomorrow. But if you practice it every single day with small increments, if you can make the effort to be a little better than whom you were yesterday, I think over time, over several weeks, over several days, you might be able to see some sort of an improvement. So always ask yourself, where do I stand? What are the things that I have to improve? And something that I would recommend personally is to do a SWOT analysis for yourself, because we as academics, we as scholars, we tend to focus on SWOT analysis for companies and organizations and situations and all these things. But when have you done a SWOT analysis for yourself? Do a SWOT analysis for yourself and understand what your strengths are. Invest on your strengths. What are your weaknesses? Research how you can overcome your weaknesses. What are the opportunities? Use the strengths and capitalize on these opportunities. Understand what are the threats you have. Observe your weaknesses and try to correct them and mitigate the threats that you will encounter. So, emotional well-being, mental well-being, and physical well-being, it's a collective element. It's not one per se. It all adds up together to make the person you are. So focus on the food you eat, the people you associate, and also a little tip. Go on YouTube and look at your YouTube feed. If you take a look at your YouTube feed, you will understand the information you are consuming. Now that is an indicator whether you are making the effort to grow or otherwise. So I wish you all the best for all the endeavors that you pursue and hope to meet you soon. Have a good one.